Okay, guys, welcome to Chasing the Murder. And today we're going over Hannah Kobayashi's story, which is coming out of Los Angeles, a Hawaiian woman. She went missing, and right now her family is there in Los Angeles. They're gathering to try to give support to finding Hannah. Why? Well, it seems that investigators and police are a little bit laggy. They haven't really reached out to the public, nor have they done any press conferences. I've covered many stories over 5 years. We've even covered Carly Russell's story. If you remember that, out of Alabama, I think it was. I think it was Alabama. It was either Alabama or Georgia, where she faked her own disappearance. We got way more from those investigators than we are on this case, which seems like it's a little bit more dire. And the goal when we cover these stories is to try to save these girls before something happens. And it's been very difficult. I've watched the family. They're really struggling to get the backup they need for their missing loved one. So let's go over a few things. Now, Hannah's 31. She loves to travel. She's an inspiring photographer. According to family members, she had set up her first gig in New York City. That's where she was heading before she stopped at her layover in Los Angeles and missed her flight. Also, according to family members and friends, they believe that there was a few cryptic text messages that she was sending, or possibly even someone else, before she disappeared. And one of the last video surveillances that they were able to capture of her was near Skid Row. We'll go into more details on that in a minute, but that they believe that she was with a man, an unknown man, and she just didn't look her best. She flew into Los Angeles November 8th. And to capture some of the old news, you can watch my previous video that I uploaded yesterday. Right now, we're going to start with November 11th, where Hannah was, well, she told family members and texted them that she was heading back to the airport. It's on this day that they said they received quite a few odd texts. In one text, it read, "On my way to the airport, I have a safe passage in Matrix style. I'm safe. For good of all. I will keep you posted." So many people who have read this message or heard about it, they're trying to figure out what the heck does Matrix style mean. In another text, she wrote, "Deep hackers wiped her identity and stole all her funds." Then she wrote, "Have had me on a mine F since Friday." According to family members, they're kind of questioning these texts because they say it doesn't text like the Hannah they know. It's lacking a lot of emojis. And here's the thing. She said that she got tricked pretty much into giving away all her funds for someone she thought she loved. In an article, families say, Pigeon, one of her family members, said, "We're not sure Hannah actually wrote the text or if someone else did." So Hannah had actually planned to go to New York City, not hang out in Los Angeles. On November 11th, she reportedly messaged her aunt that she was supposed to visit in New York that she had a very intense spiritual awakening. So it appears that she's texting several people, including a friend, and sending these messages that don't seem to make sense to any of them. While it seems like she's reaching out for help, the family members are telling her, "Look, let me know. How can I help you?" And I will help you. But they're not getting that response back that they're looking for. Because Hannah wrote in one text, "I might need help getting there. It's a long story." I wondered myself why Hannah might have missed that flight. If perhaps she used it as a way to be able to explore another area without having to pay. But because she had that gig, what she referred to as a photo gig, with an indie singer, J.W. Francis, That just wouldn't make sense that she would want to miss that. Not to mention, she had planned a few activities in New York with her aunt. According to family members, they found out that Hannah did return back to the LAX, and that was on November 11th, and it was around 4 to 6 p.m. that evening. As you can see here, a few family members were worried that maybe she met someone online and she could maybe got catfished. Hannah wrote, "No, we met. I can't explain all of it. Just please be open with this, please." So again, she's given an explanation without explaining the entire story. Now, family members did go to the airport once they flew into Los Angeles and talked to the staff members who claimed that they did see Hannah at the airport. I can't remember this part. She was filling out some type of papers, and they were able to look at those documents and confirm that it was Hannah's handwriting. So in a few texts, it mentions that, something about a hotel, and then others, it mentions she's on the streets. She had a spiritual awakening. But all of these things lack emojis. Family member says, "I know this sounds like a small detail, but to us, that's huge. Even though she was in contact with us, she wasn't in contact with us in her right mind." So that's what they believe, that possibly someone else is writing these texts, or Hannah's mind is altered in some way. Family members said that Hannah's last message to them was alarming. She mentioned feeling scared and that someone might be trying to steal her money and identity. And it's from that moment that they said she just went off the grid. At some point, she leaves the airport and security footage captures Hannah walking around with this strange guy. Again, this is downtown Los Angeles, metro stop, a hop, skip, and a jump from Skid Row. And the family said that she just did not look well. She is not safe, and she is not alone, they said. So here's another description of the footage, that she was also seen at the Hawthorne/Lenox light rail station. So all of this is basically within, the vicinity of the Pico station by the crypto arena downtown LA. And I often wonder, what about Las Vegas? Is there a possibility she might have went there? At this point, she could be anywhere. It's been over 9 days. 9 days since she was last heard from or seen. If you were in the Pico Boulevard and Hill Street area downtown Los Angeles, make sure you check your video or images that you might have took with your phone. So was this guy with Hannah at the airport? We don't know. Hannah mentioned that she did need to charge her phone, but they say they were able to later figure out that her phone, or ping it at the airport, while at the same time she was several miles away, and that the phone went dead after that. Hannah also disappeared, so that night around 10 p.m. Here's the thing, they're talking about this guy that they were able to capture on CCTV. If she's still missing, they have no clue what's going on. Why not give a description of that guy? Do police and investigators know a lot more, or are they just neglecting this case? We don't know, because they haven't even done a press conference to update the public, or anyone for that matter. In fact, the family members said that they haven't even really heard from them. I called, I think it was yesterday, and asked them, out of 5 years of doing this, I've never seen anyone handle a case the way that they're handling this one. Again, the family said they were able to find out that her phone pinged at the airport while she is an hour away from the airport in the Grove area. Guys, that's a red flag. Did she leave her phone at the airport to charge? Did she leave it with someone to charge? Did someone steal her phone? So, like in this text, for example, it says, "Hi, loves." The family says that's just an example of how she doesn't speak. And is there a possibility that Hannah is with someone that she cares about and that she met? I'm sure that's a concern of the police, trying to be careful not to invade on people's privacy. But there's moments like this one where she says she feels unsafe, identity theft. That's enough to go into a full investigation. Something that also makes the story confusing is when the family members mention the fact or ask Hannah if she might have been catfished. So, without knowing more to the story, it's hard to help figure out what's going on because there's so many missing pieces to the puzzle. Normally, you would want the investigators and police to run the show, but they are just seeming to slack, in my opinion. And family members have done a fantastic job reaching out to anyone and everyone they can, trying to get the story out and trying to find this missing loved one, Hannah, who they believe is in dire danger. Again, where is the press conference? Where is the investigators, detectives on this case addressing the public and giving us updates? I'll make another video here shortly. I want to go over her bucket list because another aunt to Hannah, I hope I don't say this right, Jordan and her husband Bob say that Hannah had actually scheduled to come see them once she reached New York and that they had actually planned and scheduled to attend DJ Scott Hansen, aka Tycho. That event was in Brooklyn, November 12th. And so there was a lot of planning involved, a schedule, and it just doesn't make sense. As you know, it's not cheap going to a place you do not live. The family has a GoFundMe set up if you would like to donate and help them be able to stay in Los Angeles so they can continue to search for Hannah. I can't imagine what this family's going through, especially when you feel like the investigators aren't helping you out. Hopefully that is not the case. Maybe they know something. Maybe they're closing in and about to bring her home. Wouldn't that be nice? But just imagine if it was your loved one, you would do anything and you would want everyone to go as quickly as they can to try to save the person that you love and bring them back home safely. We're sending our best wishes to the family from this channel. We know all too well what it's like. At least we have seen what it's like and what families go through dealing with these situations. No one deserves to go through this. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.